And next, we have our upcoming speaker, Elaaheh Jamali. Elaaheh is a British Iranian human rights activist who has consistently challenged the policies of the Islamic Republic of Iran, particularly in her activism for human rights against anti-Semitism. Despite facing significant personal risks, Elaaheh has led the Women Life Freedom marches, pushing for a feminist revolution within Iran. She remains in hiding today due to the ongoing threats against her. Elaaheh, as a leader of the Women Life Freedom Movement and a vocal advocate for the Iranian woman, how do you think gender equality and religious freedom are connected in today's Iran?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And hello and Duru to everyone who's, oh my God, you're a esteemed guest. Incredible lineup. I feel so honored. And actually, you're always doing me, um, I don't know if it's justice because it's too much. Don't say leader. I'm one of the girls who's always at the march, you know. um, religious. Religious freedom and women in Iran. One of the number one things we have to focus on is the fact that the Islamic Republic used religion precisely to start a gender apartheid, using the chador as a hiding space for hiding and imprisoning half of the society, and that was one physical act of their um, sort of attack on women and the separation and the segregation of men and women from society, whereas how so brightly all of your previous guests had stated for us during the Pahlavi era, we had a period of enlightenment and lightness for the Iranian women, where they could fully contribute to the society, be high-profile members of society, hold high-profile jobs alongside the men, because the Iranian man, regardless of their religion um, or their ideological belief, they always respected the Iranian woman. And then comes the Islamic Republic exactly 46 years ago yesterday, and doom fell upon us. Since then, we've had genocide after genocide, religious-based genocide at the hands of this regime. For example, not so long ago, I think it was a few months ago, where there was again fires in northern jungles of Iran, where the Baha'i community have been pushed out of the cities, out of civilization. They have to live in hiding in the jungles. And even in the jungles, they're not in safety, where the regime agents, IRGC, I don't want to insult demons and animals by even calling them such things, because these are people with terrible choices. They're choosing to be murderers. They're choosing to commit acts of genocide against my people, and they're doing it all under the guise of religious superiority and religious sort of second classism. And in one part of the entire country, you have half of women, half of the society, which is the entirety of women, put in one box of religious inferiority, where their rights are halved. For example, whether it's to do with their inheritance, their right for seeking divorce, or um, even have a single woman needs to have a male chaperone from their family in order to do any sort of legal based on Sharia law. They will have to have all kinds of restrictions put on them just based on their gender and their sex. On top of that, we have all of these religious minorities that are going through persecutions, punishments, and as far as genocides, like the Jewish community and the Jewish community in Iran, that's a bit of a different story, because Iranians culturally have always embraced the Jewish other Iranian sort of counterparts. It's never been an issue only since the 1979 doom of the Islamic Republic's revolution. We've had such unbelievable radical ideas against Israel while still embracing Jewish culture and Jewish religion in Iran. So luckily, we still have some sort of safety for a lot of our Jewish Persian community inside of Iran, but still with a lot of precaution. They're forced to, for example, go against everything. It's a golden cage. I mean, Iran is a golden cage for all of us, regardless of our religion. But the religious crimes that they're committing against other branches of religion inside of Iran is just despicable, mostly against the apostates, whichever religion one should choose, whether it's a Muslim turning into Christianity, Islam, Judaism or Zoroastrianism or flat out atheism. They are automatically put into the Moharabe or Kafar bracket, and they are punishable by death. So we have all kinds of I just splattered all kinds of things everywhere there for you. Let's see how to wrap this up. My apologies there. I just suddenly had a buffering of all kinds of information that I went through and what I talk about your question. If you would like to kindly enlighten me with your question again, I will wrap this up.
So basically, overall, the question was, how you see that the movement and vocal advocate, as a vocal advocate for Iranian women, how do you think gender equality and religious freedom are connected in today's Iran? And how do you see that they kind of use both, I guess, against women, but also against people of the minority religions in general?
So gender equality does not exist in Iran, period, regardless of religion. However, women of other religions other than Islam would be subject to even more scrutiny than Muslim women. Regardless of religion, however, women are always subject to more discrimination, more scrutiny just for existing in their form. So religious gender apartheid is there, and it's always going to be there for as long as the Islamic Republic exists.
I think it is also very important to point out the fact that a lot of the hate crimes that the Islamic Republic and their proxies have done against other religions, you see a focus on hurting the woman of those societies. Especially, let's say, in Israel, you saw the focus in the rape of the woman because they know how much those religions really
Yeah,
respect the woman in their
absolutely.
cultures, and they knew it was a way to hurt that culture
Mhm.
and that religion even more and that society even more by really focusing on attacking their women.
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
so
absolutely.
you
On
really
that
see like,
issue, then in that, for example, the Islamic Republic, before executing young girls who haven't been sexually active yet, they forced them, first of all, regardless of their religion, into converting to Islam, and then forcing them into an Islamic marriage where they are raped before they are executed. And then there is also the entire atrocity, the pattern and the action that was taken by Hamas during October 7 and onwards, and through the tortures that they put their hostages through. That is all religious misogyny. It's entirely to do with weaponizing the woman's body against her and making a non-Muslim woman so much more inferior that the rape is is the best punishment they could give them. I mean, the dehumanization of a non-Muslim woman is huge in the Islamic culture. I mean, if you look at the conversion system that has historically taken place through Islam, wherever the Islamic troops entered, the women were taken into hostage and raped into marriage and then forced pregnancies while the men were slaughtered to death. So it speaks for itself historically and even in 2025. It's an
Yeah,
attack on women.
it's very unfortunate and it's very
I mean,
sad to
mass
see.
for simply having a few strands of her hair out.
Mhm.
Islam is an attack on women. And just saying that alone is now considered blasphemous and anti-Islamic and Islamophobic and could have me arrested in the UK now. I mean, the influence has reached so high that even in the Parliament of the UK, they're planning on creating blasphemy laws for religious minorities where there are already laws protecting religious minorities in the UK. But these blasphemy laws are only coming to protect Islamist extremists
Mhm.
and under a very broad explanation of Islamophobia. The Islamic Republic and their echoes of their ruling is now all over the world in the West. It's after October 7th, we are now seeing its fruition in the Western parliaments. It's
And
terrifying, but
as
doing our
someone who I
best
can
to.
see, I can see even through your nails that you're very supportive of the Jewish people and the Iranian people together, and you always are very proud and show your support. And do you feel fearful at all for your future in Europe? Do you think that you see yourself continuing to have a future there with all these laws that you say are taking place to protect the Islamic extremists?
Think because of my loyalty to the UK due to the past 25 years, I mean a quarter of century, this country has generously given. And to see the very people who pushed me into exile come over here and take over and invade
Mm-hmm.
and put in danger the freedom and um, personal autonomy of the British nation as well as what they've done to Iran and what they're doing to the Middle East. I find it to be it's my duty to now fight for the safety of the UK as while I was fighting for the UK to prescribe, for example, IRGC into the terrorist group during the mass aminin during the Woman Life Freedom Revolution in the first year. I wasn't only asking them to cut their ties with Iran so that the Islamic Republic doesn't have access to Western money. It was also so that the indoctrination that takes place here by the IRGC active agents and the think tanks that they create here through prestigious outlets would be stopped because it's affecting the future of the UK. 3 years on, here we are with blasphemy laws protecting extremist Islamists. So now my fight is tripled. It is not just for the emancipation of Iranian women from the Islamic Republic and the downfall of the Islamic Republic. It is not just anti-terrorism in the West and fighting anti-Semitism and fighting for the people of Israel. It is now also fighting for the liberation of the UK from this Islamic virus. And it is literally that. So good luck to us,
It
huh?